Good morning, everyone. How are we doing on this Wednesday, hump day? I am running late today, but it is what it is. I can't stress about it. I can't worry about it. I just have to do it and get myself going for the day. It's been, it was a crazy day yesterday. Grab you a drink if you need it, and let's get going. I have put my moisturizer on, and so now I'm going to come in with my Joa, and we're going to get this started here. Going to use this up. I keep thinking it's going to be the last day, and then there seems to be more that keeps coming out, so I'm just going to use it until I can't get any more out of this puppy. I don't like to keep these type of containers full of liquid foundation indefinitely. The ones in the bottles I'm not as concerned about as these, and I don't know that it ever goes off per se, but I just think it's better to be safe than sorry and use as much of it as I can, and then replace it. I don't know that it ever goes off. Have you ever heard that your foundation goes off or it has an expiration? I don't know. If you know that, share it with the group, would you? Because that's a pretty important fact. I just have never seen, an expiration date, use by date. Maybe I'm just not looking too. Maybe that's the problem, but I don't recall ever having on any of my products, like you do on your perishables, an actual use by date. So if you guys have seen that, share it with the group. Put it in a comment so we can all know that. That's a pretty important piece of information. Okay, I've got that on. Now I'm going to come in with my under eye, which this is this really cool product that has this metal wand on it. You can see the product comes out the end there, and I'm going to put a little bit here. So I had to go yesterday back to my surgeon because I don't know if I told you guys this or not. On Friday, I had a mammogram. And when they were doing the mammogram, if you've ever had a mammogram, you know that they do a compression part of the exam where they take your tissue and you sort of hold on or hug the machine, and then they compress your breast tissue to get a cross section in your mammogram cancer screening, right? And so I was having that done, and I told the tech when I first got there that, they asked, have you had any changes? And I said, no, I haven't had any changes, but I have had 2 shoulder replacement surgeries. And so the muscles, because your breast tissue is connected to your muscles and your lymph gland and all of that. I said, I've had 2 major surgeries in the last 12 months since my last mammogram, so I am still recovering. I'm still tender and in that area. She's like, okay, that's good to know. We'll compress as much as you can withhold on discomfort. And I'm like, okay, I can manage that. So we start with my left side, which goes fine, no problems. And then we get to my right side, and the compression slips. In other words, the compression came down really quickly on this side, and as it did that, obviously I flinched because it was hurt. It was hurting, obviously. It was compressing. It happened very, very quickly. And so it's compressing. I'm flinching and trying to pull away, the natural reaction, and caused a significant amount of pain. Of course, the tech felt really, really bad. And as the night started to wear on, I started to get more and more discomfort. Then I started to have bruising. And then the next morning I woke up Saturday morning and I could barely move my arm. I'm like, oh great, got to be kidding me. I had a mammogram and now I've potentially messed up this shoulder again. So I spent most of the weekend icing, trying not to do anything that was really exerting, for fear that maybe I had, in this process, it had dislocated or moved or shifted the hardware in my shoulder. And I'm freaking out because, you know, I've had 2 of these already and I'm thinking, oh my God, now what? So anyways, I go back, call my doctor Monday morning, and was able to get in yesterday, went down to see him, and thank God everything is okay. There's no dislocation. I just have an extreme amount of bruising, and maybe, depending on how the next few days go, I may have some soft tissue injury there. But at least the hardware is not screwed up. Thank heavens, because I just don't know if I could go through anything else. I just really don't. All right, that's on. That looks really good. Let me just fix my brows a little bit here. Put a little bit more blonde color in them. Okay, that looks good. Obviously, I'm wearing pastel blue today. My mom's favorite color. Oh, my mom looks so beautiful in this color because she had this color eyes. She had the most beautiful blue eyes. My precious mom. Oh, I miss her. So, before I get upset here, I'm gonna get going. Let's get a little bit of lipstick. Just 1 second. So sorry guys, I forgot to get my gonna put a little bit of lip gloss on just to get these lips moisturized for right now. Okay, let's start with blue. Let's start with this beautiful blue that I used yesterday, and I'm going to get that stippled all on the lid. Put this back here. Just trying to sort of get it stippled on, and then I'll come in with a fluffy brush and just try to blend it a little bit. Okay, now I am gonna just use a taupey color. I'm gonna use the blonde color that I use in my brows to add a little bit of definition right here. Just a little bit of a transitional color. to the top part through transition and bring it up onto the shelf of my eye socket, the big bone right here. Beautiful. Then I'm gonna pick up my blue pencil right here. This is a really pretty blue eye pencil. And we're gonna get that on top and bottom. So we're gonna do all blue and taupe today. Blue on blue. Now that goes on really bright. So to sort of tone that down a little bit, I'm gonna go back into this palette and then we're gonna pick up this lighter blue right here. I'm just gonna tone that down just a tad bit. I want it to stay in the powder blue family. And that pencil has a tendency to go a little green sometimes, like it's gonna go into aqua. So just taking that lighter, really light powder, and I'm doing two things with it. I'm locking in the pencil by putting a powder on it, and I am making sure that I stay in the blue range, not to get into the aqua, because I don't want aqua at all. It would clash. So then I'm gonna make sure, because I'm using blue, and blue is one of those colors that normally gets a lot of fallout. Just gonna come back underneath here and really clean up that area. Now, all of these products that I'm using today, all of them are what I would consider discount or drugstore. None of them are high-end products. They're all budget-friendly, and I think that's really important to note that, you know, you don't have to spend an absolute fortune on makeup. I don't feel like you have to spend a fortune to find really good products that give you a great look. I think the thing with any makeup product is, you know, trial and error. And I certainly don't think that, you know, you've got to go to the department store and spend, you know, $50 a piece on each makeup product to get beautiful makeup. I think that drugstore products, Revlon, Maybelline, L'Oreal, Milani, you know, Elf, all of these products are really good products, and they're not going to break your bank. And I think that's important to really make people aware. Now, of course, if you have the budget and you want to buy those luxury products, by all means, you know, that's up to you. But I just don't think that what I'm trying to say is, just because you're buying a discount or a drugstore product doesn't mean that it's not going to be a good product. It may not be as luxurious as, you know, the big department store products and the big names, but I just don't think you have to spend, you know, a fortune to get really good products that are going to give you a beautiful look that are going to last throughout the day. One, I don't have the endless budget capabilities to do that. And even if I did, I just don't really see the need. I mean, why? For example, I watched a video yesterday. We were talking about this. This runs about $35. It's a Fenty blush. It's What a Brat. If you have coupons, you can get it for about $35. Well, anywhere from $20 to $35, depending on where you buy it and what your coupons are. Now, a similar product, let me just get out this one if I can get it out. Well, I can't get it out, but I have the Dior Rosy Glow blush, and that cost me $60. Now, I don't use that every day because I don't feel like I keep that for really special occasions where I just really want an extra oomph, if you will. And so that went on way too orange. Don't like that at all. Gonna have to start that over. Nope, that's not gonna work. That went on way too orange for my blue here. So what I do when that happens is I take it off and then I use my powder puff and I just go back over the lip area with my powder puff and then reapply. So this one is also a dollar store find. That's much better. This is pink. This one is from the dollar store and it's Wet and Wild. And it is called Dark Pink Frost, number 530D, Wet and Wild. And it's this really pretty frosted pink color, which is a staple in my makeup arsenal. Always has been, always will be. I do love a really pretty frosted pink. Then we're going to come back in and we're going to add a little bit of sheen. And like I found this yesterday when I was at Walmart. This is LA Colors Holographic in this beautiful pink shimmer. And it just gives you this beautiful sort of shimmer color on top, which I love. So we'll keep those two close to date as we're going to wear those. And then let's pick up our Kabuki brush and blend in our blush with our Revlon Color Stay finishing powder. I do this just to get this really pretty porcelain finish that I love. And just making sure that I don't have any harsh lines from my blush. And to get that really soft porcelain matte finish that is my preference. That looks really nice. The blue is beautiful. The blue on brown eyes is truly a great pop because they're off the color wheel difference of where they sit on the color wheel. So when you have really dark eyes like I do and you add the blue to it, you really make those eyes stand up. And if you have the blue eyes, then using brown accents is also stunning. The two colors work so beautifully together, you wouldn't think they do, but they certainly do. And they're very complementary to each other. Okay, before we finish, let's go in and lock in these brows using Benefit Bang Gel. I would say this is between this and my Fenty blush. These are the only two products that I would say are name brand, higher end product. Everything else today that I have used is discounted drugstore makeup. And I think you get just as beautiful a result as using those higher end products. Believe me, I would love to just go to the counter at Dior and say, okay, I'd love that, I'd love that, I'd love that, and get it all in one place, but I don't have, you know, $1,000 to drop on makeup. I wish I had that problem, but I don't. So I got to work within what I can afford, and I don't know, you tell me, does the end result of my makeup look like I only have drugstore products on? Can you tell with the end result that I'm only using drugstore products? I don't think you can, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. I hope not. I hope my end result is classic and looks like I've spent a lot of money when in actual fact I haven't. You guys tell me. So now I'm using my Milani. That's another discount brand that is remarkable. You know, I noticed something yesterday when I was at Walmart. These brands like LA Colors, Pixie, Milani, what was the other one I saw? Physicians Formula. Those products aren't locked up in the Walmart cases now. That's a new thing for Walmart. That just happened within the last year where they started locking up makeup products, obviously because there's been a lot of theft, and so Walmart's decided that they're going to lock up their products, and you got to ask every time you go into a case. You've got to ask, which means somebody's going to stand there and wait, or you got to go to the next case, which it's infuriating because it takes so much longer to get what you need. But you know, I guess if they've had as much theft, then I guess they got to do what they got to do, but it's definitely not a convenience. Once again, the bad apples in our society affect what the good apples get to do by their stealing of products. Got a little bit of too much down here on the bottom. I think I'm gonna have to fix that. I touched, where is my brush? Here it is. Yeah, just fix that a little bit where I touched the wet mascara. All right, one final. The first one I used was my Milani mascara. Now I am using my L'Oreal Panorama. These tiny little lashes that are right here that I see, and going out to the ends of my lashes to get a little bit more length and fullness. let's take a look. How did we do today? Oh, that's really pretty. The powder blue is just really beautiful with brown eyes. And that is it for me on this Wednesday. I have so much powder floating everywhere. It got all over my camera here. There we go. Beautiful pink and blue today. Just gorgeous. Have a spectacular Wednesday, everyone. I hope you get out there and knock it out of the park. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. We're just about helping each other have our very best day, encouraging ourselves to start each day on a positive note, being prepared so you can be as successful as you can throughout the day. Encouraging you to take the first steps every day. Put yourself together because you deserve it, right? You deserve the 30 minutes to concentrate on being the best version of yourself so you can get out there and knock them dead. I know you can. Believe in yourself. Always let your loved ones know where you are. We live in very difficult, dangerous times. So always check your surroundings. Don't take anything or anyone for granted because you just can't anymore. And be safe. Stay connected with your loved ones. Make it a great day. And thank you so much for joining me this morning. If you enjoy these videos, please share them with those people that are passionate about makeup and being part of a community where we just encourage each other to be our very best, to live our lives, to be chasing our goals and our dreams. You're never too young, you're never too old to start a new quest, to chase a goal or a dream that you haven't fulfilled in your life. I'm doing that now. I'm 63, and I'm not going to let anything get in my way. I know I can do it, and I know you can do it. Hard work, faith, love, and dedication, and support from all of us, and you can go do it. Make it a great Wednesday. Thanks for joining me as we got ready this morning, and this is Carrie from Texas. See you tomorrow. This is all drugstore discount makeup. You can do beautiful, beautiful makeup and not break the bank. See you tomorrow.